What's good? What's good? Welcome back to Invest and Trade with Jax. We're going to go over our friend Matic. Good morning from Canada. Hope everybody's doing well. We're sitting at 226. We're down about 6% on the day. We have some bearish signals, some bearish divergences that I want to get into here, which is perfectly okay because then we come down to our buy zones, right? So we're sitting at a market cap of 15.79 billion, 24-hour volume 3.71 billion. Ladies and gentlemen, if you're new to crypto.com, sign up to the world's fastest growing crypto app, and you can grab one of the incredible Visa cards for cashback in crypto, free Spotify, Netflix, Prime, travel incentives, depending on the level of card that you have, $25 in their native coin just for signing up through my referral. So let's start with Matic, guys. So we have divergences, bearish ones on the 1 hour as well as on the 4 hour. So you can see we created a higher high here. We're creating lower highs on the RSI. So what I'm going to do, this bounce zone will now turn back into a take profit zone. Now I'm sure I'll have a couple of commenters saying, oh, we didn't bounce off your bounce zone. You're the absolute worst. What I'm doing, guys, is I'm giving you probabilities, right? We had potential to bounce there. Even if we have a bearish divergence, there might be stronger bearish signals that we're not going to bounce there, but I'm still going to put a bounce zone just in case you want to enter with a stop loss just underneath. You always use your own discretion, guys. So we're coming back down to 214. Now you can see here on the 1 hour RSI, we're trending close to oversold. So what you can do if you'd like to, I definitely have put a buy limit there, but I might use a stop loss underneath to try to get in lower. But what you can do is I can put slash buy. Oh, sorry guys. Bounce slash buy. Because in my opinion, you can start dollar cost averaging from this level 214, 193. Because if we come down to this area of 193, we're likely to see a bounce. All right, guys. And then your average price is sitting at about 202. And we can also bounce off 214. Now there's some TA I want to show you guys here by one of the members of our Discord. His name is WTE, one of the best in our Discord at technical analysis, in my opinion. So big shout out to you if you're watching this. So he's noticing this rising channel with Matic and the fact that we've had 5 waves. So we've gone 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, followed by an ABC correction. As you can see here, as ABC correction comes down to 194, shoots back up to 238 and comes down to 169. So I want to show it to you guys here on the chart. Okay, he's noticing more of a rising channel instead of a rising wedge. That's why it's always good to get multiple opinions. To do your own technical analysis is also really important. That's why I always say use your own discretion, guys. So what we're going to do here is we're going to basically duplicate this TA on a live chart. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And you can see we hit resistance. We're starting to see some sell-off. And we go A. He was down at about 194. A, B, C. Bringing you back down. Let me move this up a little bit. To this level of support about 168. Let me quickly reference his chart again. Yeah, 168, 169. So what I want to show you guys here, if that were to play out on the chart, look at our dollar cost average strategy. So we're going to jump back into it here. So his A correction comes all the way down to about 195, and then it bounces up here to about 230. So we have one of our buy zones here on that level of support. If I open this up, this is a 4-hour time frame. So we have one here 214, 215, and then we have one here at 193. His was at 195. That's why I always put zone. But if we were to come down to both those, but if we hit both those levels, 215, 195, 215, 193, your average price is sitting at about 203. And as you can see here, you bounce. You come down, you bounce right off 194, you bounce all the way up to about 232, which is a previous level of resistance, very close to previous resistance. So if your average price is sitting at 204 and you bounce up to 232, that's a 14% trade. So you see how this strategy works. You're buying in at oversold levels. You're buying in as the price is dropping, giving you a much better opportunity to ride the wave back up. All right, guys. So we can see here, we're all the way down to 221 now. We're seeing quite a nice red candle here. So it looks like we're going to come down and hit our first buy zone. Now it's use your discretion if you want to enter here and set a stop loss and try to get in lower at 193, or if you want to enter, let it come down to 193. Of course, that's not promised, and then brings down your average price. You get ready to ride the slingshot back up. If it were to come all the way down to 175, if we had a flash crash like we did here, flash crash, then your average price is even lower and you ride the slingshot back up. All right, guys. So this is the 4-hour time frame. We're starting to break underneath the 20 EMA. So watch the 55 EMA lines up with 215, which is our bounce / buy zone. Let me quickly pull up the RSI. I know there was a small bearish divergence with this RSI as well, which signifies to us that the bulls are running out of strength. So you can see we created a higher high, but we failed to create a lower high on the 4-hour RSI. So it looks like we're going through a correction right now. Look, we're about to hit our buy zone. Hey, hey. With this strategy, you almost want price to come down, right? Because it gets you into your trade. And the more it comes down, the more money you get into your trade. And you ride the slingshot back up. All right, guys. So I do have this rising wedge as well. And we are starting to fall back into the pattern here. So what may be happening, whether you're noticing a rising wedge or you're noticing this channel, is that we're going to come back down and test this level of support. Unless we bounce off the EMAs, that's a possibility. We hold the EMAs and we bounce right off the 0.786 here and we see continuation. But if we start to lose those levels of support, most likely what you'll see is you won't come straight down unless you have a flash crash. You'll come down, you'll bounce up, and then you roll over. You go through that ABC correction. That I remember in the Discord was showing here. We have a bearish divergence on the daily as well. We have a high and we have a little bit of a higher high and a bit of a lower high on the 1-hour RSI. So this is actually great, guys, because we're going to get into our trade. So if we quickly look at ETH here, guys, you can see it with Ethereum as well. Bearish divergence, small higher high, lower high. And now we have a double top pattern for ETH. You can see we made a top, made a second top, which is a bearish pattern, guys. So if we break the neckline for ETH, it's going to bring us down to about 4056, which we have a lot of support in this area. Now another thing I want to bring to you guys' attention is look how many times we've hit 4416, which was the previous high from back in April and May. You can see it. We hit resistance 1, 2, we broke here, we had a throwback 3, 4, we broke out, throwback 5, 6. So we've hit it 6 times as resistance. The more you hit a level of resistance, the higher likelihood you're going to roll over, because the bulls don't have the strength to break the resistance. It's still a possibility, but it's a higher likelihood that you're going to start to roll over. And if I pop this chart over to the daily, I've been talking about this level of resistance for feels like a month at least, guys. I said if we fail to get above it, we can go through that ABC correction, bringing ETH all the way back down to 3580. Now it's not likely, unless there's a flash crash, that we're going to come all the way down there really quickly. We slowly bleed down, and then that gives us a beautiful opportunity to bounce. However, guys, Bitcoin is in the floor on the 1-hour RSI. We do have that double bottom, but we also have this bear flag pattern that we have to keep a very close eye on, because even though the RSI is in the floor, it can go lower before seeing its bounce. But the lower it goes, the larger the bounce. What does Coins Kid say? The more we retrace, the bigger the impulsive pace. Is that what he's? I don't know. He's a lyrical genius. So you can see we are starting to break out of that bull flag, and your target's all the way down here at 40K. But if we can create that double bottom and we do a little something like this, we come up, we create a second bottom, we break out, it's going to pull the market with it, guys. But we are starting to have the bearish cross on the daily EMAs. Which is a bearish signal, right, guys? We come up, we hit the EMAs as resistance, just as we did here, bearish cross. I mean, this was a huge dump, but then we hit the 20 EMA as resistance for like 2 months. So that's something to keep a close eye on. I would like to see that double bottom play out. But as you can see right here is a good example, guys. We came all the way down to about 19 on the RSI before we started to see a large bounce back to the upside. So we'll finish off the video for Matic. Do watch 214, 215. It's coming down there right now. Currently we're at 219. And then you can set your dollar cost average buy zones. You can start here if you'd like to, as we are trending to oversold. You can also wait for 193. It's totally your call. It's not financial advice. It's just for reference, guys. So our DCA buy zones, 214, 193, 175, 152, 132, 107. I have one more all the way down here at 63. Now, I do recommend you have enough money to set all your buy zones, because you can have flash crashes just as we did here. I'm sure many of you weren't expecting us to drop like that. And if you didn't have your buy zones zones already set up, they would have never triggered, and you would probably get liquidated if you're using leverage. And if you're spot trading, well, you better have to throw in a lot of money to bring your average price down, right? It's always best to set your buy zones, and then you can go on about your day. You can go to work, you can, you know, make love to your woman or to your man, and you're a-okay. All right, so we're gonna finish up this video here. We will give our bull run targets. I always like to do that. If we do lose this level of support, of course, that's pretty negative, guys. If we break underneath the golden ratio and we lose this and we break down from this falling wedge, well, then we have to target lower price targets. It's not necessarily negative because it's better for us as dollar cost average traders, but for Matic's overall sentiment and for the investors, you know, price is going to go down, right? So we have the 1.618 at 677, the dream price at 1181, the 2.272 at 1767, but my bull run target is 677. I think we're going to go long into the spring with this bull run, in my opinion. So I think that's basically it, guys. If you want access to 1,000 members talking all things crypto, it's the price of a coffee. You also have full access to the DCA strategy, fully written out, as well as my DCA charts, which I update daily, or I update, you know, when it's necessary to update. All right, guys. It's the price of a coffee. It's going to go up to $5 soon, though. All right. Much love. Take care.